What grade do you want to teach?
I want to teach high schoolers.
What made you want to be a teacher?
I'm looking forward to influencing students and making them into better people.
That's good. What do you think the qualifications are for being a teacher? Like compassion, patience, like the main things that you would say make up a good teacher?
I think patience and understanding are definitely like the top two, but I think any teacher has to have the heart for students, because the pay is great. Even your students that you love aren't going to treat you right all the time. The parents are going to get mad at you. The school system's going to tell you you're not doing a good job. So, I mean, ultimately, it needs to be intrinsically driven.
How do you think teachers impact the students other than on an academic level?
I think the teachers prepare students for the real world in the sense that they influence like the environment of the classroom, so they have control over how the students are going to interact with each other and what kind of social skills they're going to develop and the kindness that they're going to treat each other with.
Do you believe teachers deserve more compensation for what they do, and why?
I think all teachers definitely do, but I think it depends on the situation that the teacher is in as to whether there's a higher need for teachers to receive more pay or compensation based on like the district or the socioeconomic status of the school or the grade level that the student is teaching or the state that the school is in. But overall, yes, I think all teachers deserve to be paid more.
Since you are in the education program, do you think you're being prepared well enough from the classes that you're taking?
Yes, I think FSU Teach at Florida State is incredibly well equipping me to teach in the real world, because from our freshman year, our first class that we take has us in the classroom with elementary school students teaching our first 2 lessons that we've written ourselves. So I think we get great experience with everything.
What would you say your favorite class has been so far?
You didn't ask about
yesterday.
Sorry. Okay. I think my favorite class has been I think my favorite class has been probably Knowing and Learning, which is a class that doesn't involve any field work, but we spend the entire semester learning about students as learners and learning about like how they absorb information and the best way to get that across, and then how to best come off to students in an approachable way to make them open to learning as much as possible.
Gotcha. What role do you think parents play in a classroom and at home for students?
I think parents are incredibly involved, whether directly or indirectly, because when the students aren't at home or aren't in class, they're at home with their parents. So parents have the ability to control whether students are doing their homework or not, and they also affect the students in a negative way, such as students not being taken care of at home and not being fed, which can affect the students' mentality when they come to class, whether they're focused and prepared and ready to learn, or if they're just worried about going home at the end of the day. And then also I think parents need to side with the teacher more than their children, because it can make it difficult for teachers to enforce certain rules in the classroom if the parents are just going to go against everything that the teacher is saying to the student, because ultimately the parents get to make the call over what the student is going to do.
Right. How will you motivate a student who seems to be struggling and doesn't seem to want any help?
I saw that question. You didn't ask that yesterday either. I'm sorry. I feel like this is the ultimate question for teachers, because every teacher, no matter how long you teach, I feel like is going to experience that student that just doesn't care. I guess that's where the saying comes in, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Right.
But we can do everything possible through teaching strategies, through talking to the student, getting involved with the parents. It may be disciplinary action if they're not paying attention in class or disrupting others, or just talking to them like human beings and trying to see maybe there's a deeper reason why they aren't trying in class. Maybe they're being bullied because they're getting good grades, or maybe they're being bullied because they're not getting good grades.
Right.
So why even try? Like
investing more into their personality.
Yes.
What are some of your reservations you have as a future educator?
I don't have any. You rephrased that question yesterday. You asked something else.
Yeah, I was like,
because I don't have any reservations. I think you said, like, what are you worried about?
yeah,
teaching?
worried about, or if you have any, like, things that may kind of scare you in a way, or...
I think the one thing I'm worried most about is dealing with the parents, just because the parents are what I have the least experience with. It's kind of hard for student teachers in a undergraduate program to get experience with borrowed students' parents.
Right.
So I've had no experience whatsoever with students' parents, and I think that's something that I'm the most worried about and is probably the most unpredictable.
Okay. What would you say you're most excited about?
I'm most excited about the impact I'm going to have on my students. Yeah.
All right, thank you.